Hi everybody, this is Karak with Angry Centaur Gaming. Sometimes like a hot ex who gave it crabs, you gotta go back and look at a game that you've reviewed once and you have to see if it's worth having a relationship with. It's not always fun, but it's worth doing. Well, you know what? We went back and we looked at the Master Chief Collection, and in all honesty, this is a game that was so fucking borked that the developers looked around and said, oh shit, we should probably give these guys a whole new free fucking game. When it comes down to it, I do like going back and looking at these, and this next title is really worth it because it's a single title in a wide gamut of titles, and it's also in a pack-in for one of the consoles, and of course, that is Assassin's Creed Unity, creator of the Arno rocket, where Arno would get stuck in the physics and shoot up into the sky like he was having a meet and greet with God, or occasionally fall through the ground like he was in a one-way trip to hell. In this game, there were so many issues when it first came out, and I think it's really worth going back here right before Christmas and checking it out. How am I going to do the review or re-review? It's going to be pretty simple. First, I'm going to slow down a tiny bit. Second, I'm going to cover the same overall sections I do in a normal review, but I'm just going to mostly give you the comparisons between the two. Day 1 release and after patch 4 or 5, I can't remember. So let's just jump into it. Graphics are up first. The suboptimal has now become sort of optimal, especially on the PS4 where this game's frame rate just tanked and it really never made sense. That frame rate, the overall normal basement level frame rate, has definitely risen up a little bit. The Xbox One has seen some increases as well, and of course the PC is going to see more increases just depending on what hardware you have in it, and if you've ended up making some kind of debt deal with God to get better stuff. When it comes down to it, the console versions have actually seen some good increases, and I'm really happy for that. Now, there still are the Justin Timberlake pop and stop music video moments, but there's less of them, and I actually think that overall I would say it's suboptimal. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better than it was. It's just suboptimal has turned to sort of optimal, and sort of optimal is not actually what we want, but you have to admit that there is an increase there. Also, graphics, nothing else has really changed. It's not like they've gone in and they've fixed textures or anything like that. It's just basically around frame rate and pop-in. Has pop-in improved? No, not at all. Matter of fact, Ubisoft looked around and said, fuck, we can't fix this, so we're going to make it look like the Animus is screwing up whenever anybody draws in, like a horror movie right here, where you're looking around, you look over here, and there's a guy who's like, woo, and he just appears. It's really odd, but you know what? Ubisoft basically looked at it and said, fuck it, we can't fix it. Might as well make it look like it's part of the game. I would say graphics have improved, definitely frame rate the most. Now, when it comes to sound, music, and voice, nothing's really changed here. Some people like the sound, some people don't. When it comes to the music, some people like it, some people don't. When it comes to the voice, some people like it, some people don't. I do hear you guys when you say that they don't all have the proper accents. You know what? You're absolutely right. Next up, gameplay. Has it improved? Abso-fucking-lutely, and here's why. When the frame rate was so suboptimal that it actually impacted your ability to play the game, when that is moved up to a sort of optimal, but still better than it was before, that gameplay does get improved. And that's because you can explore more, you can do more. It also doesn't crash as much. So it feels like you can explore the world without so much danger that shit was just going to sort of fall apart, like you were looking behind the curtain and seeing the Wizard of Oz was just doing a load of crank with a bunch of hookers. I actually like that. I think that's really nice that you can see that the gameplay is actually improved. I can explore those murder mysteries, which are awesome. I can explore that somewhat mundane main story. But the side stuff in Assassin's Creed, I now feel like I can actually go and do, and I think that's a great improvement. Up next, fun factor, most important thing. Has it improved? Holy shit, yeah. And the reason why is, once again, when a suboptimal frame rate becomes somewhat more playable, you notice that it's just more fun. I can just do more things. I can enjoy it by far better and longer than I was ever able to before, because in all honesty, sometimes that suboptimal frame rate or the issues with pop-in would give me a little bit of a headache, actually a physical discomfort. Nobody wants that from a game. And that doesn't happen as much. I think these patches have increased the overall playability of the game, the overall fun factor of the game. However, to make this short, what are we going to do? Are we going to adjust this review? The review was wait for a sale. Now, you guys got to remember that when I change this review, or if I don't, whatever I do is still based on that original review and the price it was then. So if a game was a wait for a sale, or if a game was a buy back then and I change it now, you sort of have to identify where the price is now to see if that fits you. And here's the thing, I'm going to leave it at a wait for a sale. However, you guys got to remember something. I say wait for a sale, that's because I was basing it on the original price back when it was released. We all know Assassin's Creed Unity is on sale many places, so this might be an instant buy for you. But I can't actually say that if this game arrived at my house day one the same way it is right now after these patches, I would have said buy. Much closer though. So when this was a wait for a sale back then, it was maybe middle to high wait for a sale, maybe 3/4 up into a buy. Now it's almost a buy if it had appeared at my house in that original condition. And that is actually saying something. It's also, my hat's off to Ubisoft. They didn't ignore it. They didn't think that they could crew it away, which is like, here, take a copy of the crew, take 10, take 15, blah, blah, blah. We'll just count them as sales. They actually went and tried to fix the game. They've done a fairly good job. They have ripped us off with this stupid fake Animus messing up pop-in that occasionally happens. It's something that I really hope they do fix, is the pop-in, because the crowds are one of the best parts of Assassin's Creed Unity. However, if you guys have been, holding back on this title, I would only suggest one thing. Ignoring the actual status of the review not changing. Like I said, it's still a wait for a sale. If I were you, I would re-look at it, for the simple fact that if you were hedging on it at one time, I can say that these bug fixes and these patches have improved it, and I think that's really cool. I want Ubisoft to continue. They've got a lot more to continue to make this game perfect, but at least, just like Master Chief Collection, these guys are working on it. So that's it for me, man. I'm glad you guys like these things. I loved going back and looking at games, and I always will. I know I see people on the forums saying, oh, not everybody goes back and looks. I don't know why they don't. It's something that absolutely needs to be done, because let's be honest, not all perfect games are going to stay perfect either. We've seen games that have actually been patched and have boatloads of issues, whether it be compatibility or something like that. I think it's totally worth going back and looking at. Now, one section I'm going to cover just a moment is microtransactions. Yes, they're still in the game, but they don't really change, add, increase, decrease, subtract anything from my overall review. They're there. There's some shit there. The initiates are there, which now works and seems to sync up. Overall, those didn't really impact my overall enjoyment of the game in any way enough to raise or lower that. I know some people are against microtransactions, and you have that right. I just want you to know where I'm coming from. So if you get a chance, check out our forums where we do all kinds of things. We're going to have some screenshot contests this month where we'll be giving away a free game. We're going to do some really cool stuff on the forums. That link is in the description of the video. If you like the video, hit like. If you disliked it, hit dislike. Make sure to leave a comment if you want to leave a comment. And if you don't, watch the video and then go to sleep. Peace out, man. And woman. And babies. Not the babies will be watching this, but if a baby's watching this, peace out, baby. Baby.